Hi guys, let's take a look at lesson 7 that was done today, Wednesday, September 2nd. So lesson 7, we started with our opening where we looked at our learning targets. I can demonstrate understanding of the excerpt of chapter 5 of The Lightning Thief. I can interpret figurative language in The Lightning Thief. And then we discussed this prompt together. On this side of the house, the valley marched all the way up to the water. So we talked about what type of figurative language is used there, what the sentence might mean, what images that create in your head, why we use figurative language, which lends itself to the note catcher that we completed together as a class. And so the very first one that was on the entrance ticket is here at the top of the note catcher. On this side of the house, the valley marched all the way up to the water. That is personification. A valley cannot march. And personification is when we give an inanimate object human-like characteristics. So what does that mean? We talked about how that means that the valley was vast, it was huge, and it extended all the way to the water. It just sounds a lot more interesting and colorful to say that the valley marched all the way up to the water. The second one we have is a simile, where we have a comparison of two unlike things and use like or as. The simile is, my mouth felt like a scorpion had been using it for a nest. So we talked about what this meant. What does it mean to have your mouth feel like a scorpion had been using it for a nest? Mouth was hurt, mouth was in pain, on fire. Again, we use figurative language because it's a lot more interesting and colorful than simply saying, my mouth hurt. The next one, we have a metaphor where we're comparing two unlike things without the use of like or as. So this metaphor is directly from the excerpt that I read today in class. He would plant a disease in my brain that would leave me wearing a straitjacket in a rubber room for the rest of my life. This is from a scene where Mr. D is talking to Percy. Percy's questioning things, and him and Mr. D is not pleased about it. And Mr. D has a fire in his eyes, and Percy knows that if he keeps pushing, it's going to be ugly for him. And so this is the metaphor that was used to describe just what Mr. D was capable of, which was really making Percy crazy and giving him some really bad mojo and vibes. All right, last one, we have hyperbole, the use of exaggeration to emphasize a point. I waited in the dark for what seemed like forever. Forever there is the hyperbole. He didn't wait in the dark forever. I'm sure it felt like a long time, but he didn't die in there. All right, so we took a look at the entrance tickets. We also then looked at the note catcher that we did together as a class, not something that you need to complete and submit. Next, we read an excerpt from chapter 5. You are then going to give me a gist and use one of the vocab words, either metaphysical or gingerly, correctly in a sentence to get that complete assignment done. And then after that, there is a quick check on figurative language. So this is a 5-question quiz, inside air quotes, that you are going to complete on figurative language. That's the focus of the day. Figurative language will also be covered on the assessments, the mid-unit assessment next Thursday. And then the final element for today was the assignment to read chapter 6 for tomorrow. So tomorrow we will have another excerpt of chapter 6. We will be working through chapter 6 on a note catcher. And that is it for today.